Revelation 1498. From the 29th of June 1940. Education in right thinking. Faith. Men are to be educated to right thinking, and that alone is already a task, which requires beings willing to help both on earth as well as in the hereafter. When mankind chases after completely wrong ideals, when it just strives for the opposite of that what is actual purpose of earth life, then it therefore stands in wrong thinking, and it is now the task of those who think rightly to instruct them and to give them enlightenment. However, every help is mostly rejected, and therefore just a transformation of thinking is extremely difficult to achieve. Every assertion has to be proven to men with proofs, and they will not let themselves be convinced until this proof is supplied to them. But now the spiritual can never be proven. On the other hand, man, to think right, must make use of spiritual help, therefore believe in spiritual work. Only then this work can appear so that the thinking of man is ordered, therefore that it is right. Therefore, to educate men to right thinking, information must be given to them about it, that spiritual beings look after men, that they have influence on all earthly events in the life of the individual, and that they are always and constantly prepared to stand by man in love, to advise him, to give him power and to guide him on his earth way. Only when man has made himself familiar with such thoughts, he tries, if he is in need of help, to make use of these beings surrounding him, and leaves himself to their guidance. And then these beings can have an unhindered effect on the thinking of men. And the thinking of them must now be right. The spiritual work can indeed also now not yet be proven to him, but he himself feels it and no longer needs a proof, because if he stands in right thinking, it is easy for him to believe. But exactly to teach men this conviction is extremely difficult in a time which denies and fights against everything spiritual. Mankind lives in a completely different world, in a world which is the blatant opposite of the spiritual world. To now dare to jump out of this world into the spiritual kingdom, man must first go through great mental shocks, or else he must be so permeated by love that the spiritual kingdom becomes a home for him by itself, which he strives towards. Without earthly need and without love, however, man does not recognize anything supersensible. His thoughts will always go far away from what is right before God, and it is difficult to direct them towards recognition. To think right, faith is necessary. Faith in God and in spiritual work. But when this faith is not present, then man can never ever take a direction of thought, which leads to right recognition. He will always go wrong ways, he will grope and seek and still constantly err. Only when man prays, when he himself recognizes his inability, it will become light round him, because then he asks for that power, which he did not want to acknowledge before, and now his thinking will be clear. He will suddenly know that without spiritual power right thinking is impossible. He will recognize that orderly thoughts are a gift of divine love, which only he can receive who consciously desires divine love, who therefore acknowledges and makes use of the power out of God. Amen.